Hey, I just wanted to talk about inner child work. I'm a little bit emotionally dysregulated tonight. So instead of, I just thought I'd be honest and transparent about it with you guys. In the interest of, being my raw self, keeping it real, and also so that one day in the future, the world is less judgmental for my beautiful sons, who are both neurospicy as well. So I know that, like, not everybody, had a traumatic childhood or, had really much to complain about growing up, right? But we don't realize that so much of how we were parented and how we were parented emotionally and other things, like, it really does affect how you are later. Because there's this whole thing with therapy, with psychology at the moment, about soothing the inner child. And what I've been trying to do is to soothe myself how, like, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old Susanna would have soothed myself. And it actually sort of does this thing where you kind of learn to love yourself in, like, at least feel better about yourself. It's obviously like a different, generation when we were kids of the 80s were, raised, and I'm not, being accusatory or, like, putting everyone in the same basket or anything like that, but it was very much, you just didn't talk about emotions, feelings, mental health. It just wasn't talked about. And if it was kind of like, oh, Aunt Shirley, she's a little bit cuckoo, I heard she had a lobotomy in, like, 1955. Like, really, like, horrible stuff like that, But that used to happen, like, women, like, all the time. The husband would just say, yeah, she can, like, get a little... Do you know what I mean? Like, they used to do that all the time. They should just replace them, get a new wife, and just, like... It's just... I'm surprised it still doesn't go on, to be honest. But anyway, so... See, I'm off on a tangent. But, like, most of our issues, triggers and everything come back to our childhood and subsequent, before we turn 25, basically, because our frontal lobe and everything. And how, that saying, take a man, and I'm saying man because I'm not being politically correct here. It's a saying. Take me a man of 7 and I'll show you the man. No. Take me a child of 7 and I'll show you the man. And if that's the case, like, my 2 boys, 7 and 9, I'm pretty happy with how they'll be as men, right? I feel like me and their father have done the best job we know how to do, and that's the same case with our parents as well. It reminds me of that Savage Garden song, I believe your parents did the best job they knew how to do. I love that song. The lyrics are just so... I agree with every single one of those affirmations in that song. Affirmation. Yeah, I think I'll have to do a Aussie banger thing on that. But anyway, yeah, so... emotionally dysregulated. So I've been trying to calm myself down. And by doing that, I've been sort of meditating and doing breathing exercises and trying to bring myself to a place where I used to feel safe when I was a child. And yeah, it's helpful. I haven't spoken about this much, but I lost my dad when I was 10. And I only have maybe half a dozen memories of him, because he worked a lot, but also I think I don't know, but I think some sort of self-protection kicked in, because I don't remember a lot of stuff, and I just remember my dad died very, very quickly. Like, literally, I had my 10th birthday, and then a few weeks after that, he had a procedure, a very standard one, and it went wrong, and he ended up with septicemia. Yeah, and so, like, he was, like, Halloween he died. Yeah, it's a very triggering date for me for lots of reasons, but also because, like, I didn't get to say goodbye to him. And that's sort of, I hate to use this word, it's sort of haunted me my whole life, that I didn't get to tell my dad how much I loved him, and he died. And I'm sure that he's, like, here with me now spiritually. Like, I can feel him at times. And he can be fucking stubborn, intervening in stuff. But I really needed him growing up. You know, like, I needed a man to tell me that I was pretty, that I was deserving of this and that. Yeah. And it's no one's fault. It's no one's fault. It's just circumstance. But, he was very unhappy. And that makes me sad, because I don't want to get to his age and I don't want to get to his age and be unhappy and not know who I am, and, you know, all of that. So I'm trying to live my life for my dad. I'm trying to do the things that I know intuitively and instinctively that he would approve of and be happy with. There's something that I've started doing that I'll talk about another time, but I really feel intuitively that it's the right thing, and I actually feel guided by him. I actually feel like he is setting me down that path. And he gives me strength. And he wasn't perfect. He was a very flawed person. But he was also an empath, and he was sensitive like me. And I think that this world is too harsh for sensitive people. Yeah. But yeah, it's so I try to think of what made me feel calm and safe when I was a little kid, and it helps. It does help sometimes, because when I get triggered by different things, like, I'll get triggered by just something very innocuous, and it'll remind me of how I didn't get to say goodbye to my dad. And so, yeah, it's, I guess the whole point of this is, and I know I've gone off on a tangent, is that there's no point burying your head in the sand about things that you're struggling with or things that you're dealing with, it's always really good to talk about it with somebody, anybody, even just one person. Particularly if it's quite a burden, you know. It can actually be life-saving, you know, to share what you're going through. I just wanted to share all that. Because I'm an oversharer.